Hi everyone, my name is Grover Neville and I'm happy to be joining the team here at Upscale Audio. I'd like to talk to you today about the Audeze LCD-X. So as many of you may know, I used to work for Audeze and I was actually around during the recent slight changes to the headphone last year. Some of the magnet structure and the ear pads were changed, but this has been a headphone that's actually a favorite of mine for a while. One of the reasons is that, as you may know, I work in pro audio, so I really enjoy the reference tuning that this headphone has. I also enjoy the fact that it's 20 ohm impedance and a relatively high sensitivity, and I can plug it into just about anything and it'll sound great. But that reference tuning is really, really satisfying because it gives me all of the great things about, say, an LCD2, which has, again, a linear tuning, but a little more luscious low end, a little more richness, a little bit of a smoother upper mid presentation. The LCD-X takes that and it smooths all of that out, but in a less colorful way, and it's a little bit, again, more linear tuning. So when I do my professional work and I'm mixing audio or working on song production or things like that, this headphone gives me a very accurate presentation of what that song is going to sound like across a wide variety of systems. Now, why might you want this as an audio file? Well, some of the things that are exciting about that are when you have a neutral headphone like this, and a lot of planar magnetics have great frequency response, but the LCD-X is a particular standout. So when you have a great headphone like this, and you can plug it into any amplifier, choosing the right amplifier becomes kind of a fun process. My personal picks are tube amplifiers because that's sort of where my first love is. So the Audeze LCD-X, to me, gives a really big soundstage. It has great bass, but I like a little bit more of the low lows. So I might pair it with something like an Audio-Technica AT-H HA5050H, and that headphone amp has a 33 ohm tap, which will bring up the low lows just a little bit and make the top end just a little bit smooth and gooey. Not too tubey, but just a little bit. Another headphone amp that I really like to pair with this headphone is the Prima Luna Evo 100. It's a really cool desktop amplifier. It has about 44 watts into speakers, and it will also drive right off of the amplifier circuit, the headphones. So that amplifier definitely has a much more tubey sound. It will definitely give you a lot more lows, and it will definitely give you a little fairy dust up top. That's a pretty cool pairing with this headphone as well. It'll also work great with just about any solid state or less expensive headphone amplifier that's tubed that you might want to pair with it, but my preferences are to hear that frequency response tilted just a little bit more to the warm. If you like something that's pretty neutral, you can also pair it with a Ferrum Audio OOR. That's a headphone amp that has tons of headroom, super linear, super neutral, and I've mixed on that combo before and actually really like it and own it. Now, I have to say that overall, what the LCD-X does is, to me, sort of a primer on what a great planar magnetic headphone that has a really great out-of-the-box frequency response should do. It's got those dynamics, it's got that really liquid smooth mid-coherency, it's got the really tight punchy bass. If you haven't heard a planar magnetic headphone before, this would definitely be a great place to start. There are a lot more that are a lot more expensive, and there are some that are less expensive, but if you really want that entry point into what a high-end planar magnetic should sound like, I think the LCD-X would be hard to beat. Now, a few people find that the tuning of the sound is a little bit on the lean side for them. My solution to that is actually to have the leather-free ear pads. The leather-free ear pads are a little bit softer, and they tend to take the treble perceptually down just a little bit compared to the leather ear pads, which retain that really linear, neutral sort of studio reference sound. For the most part, however, though, even with the leather-free ear pads, I find that the LCD-X is like really a thrilling listen, and again, has that very neutral sound. It'll play a wide variety of program material. I listen to everything from jazz, fusion, classical music, modern pop music. It'll play all of that really, really well. And that's, again, one of the reasons why I really love this headphone, and it gets a lot of head time for me personally. If you're interested in this, definitely check out our website, upscaleaudio.com, like and subscribe to the video, and give us a phone call if you're curious about these or about what other really cool pairings we have for these.